What if the most intelligent person in the room is the one everyone believes is mentally unstable? And what if truth itself could be voted out by authority? Today we're exploring a psychological puzzle that goes far beyond a movie story. It exposes a disturbing reality about how easily sanity can be misjudged. Because history shows something uncomfortable. Sometimes the system is wrong, and sometimes the confident mind is. Stay till the end, because your conclusion will change more than once. Chapter 1. When a label becomes a prison. In psychology, there is a dangerous effect called diagnostic labeling. Once a person receives a mental label, every behavior gets filtered through suspicion. If they disagree, they're resistant. If they defend themselves, they're unstable. If they stay calm, they're manipulative. The label becomes the lens. There was a famous real experiment in the 1970s where healthy volunteers checked themselves into psychiatric hospitals claiming they heard voices. After admission, they acted completely normal. Yet staff continued to interpret normal behavior as symptoms. Notes like, "patient writing extensively," were recorded as compulsive behavior. None of them were detected as sane by the institution, but other patients suspected the truth. This reveals something chilling. Authority changes interpretation more than facts do. As philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But institutions often reverse this. They decide your how first, then rewrite your why. Chapter 2. The Unreliable Narrator Inside the Human Brain. Let's talk about memory, because most people trust it too much. Neuroscience shows memory is not playback. It is reconstruction. Each recall rewrites the event slightly. This is called memory reconsolidation. In court psychology, confident eyewitnesses are often wrong, not because they lie, but because the brain edits. Research repeatedly shows confidence does not equal accuracy. The brain fills missing pieces with logic, not truth. William James, one of the founders of modern psychology, wrote, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitudes." But here's the twist. Attitude can also alter perception of reality itself, meaning belief reshapes memory. A detailed story can still be a distorted one. Chapter 3. Gaslighting versus paranoia. The invisible line. Now we reach the most disturbing psychological mirror. Gaslighting and paranoia look almost identical from the outside. Gaslighting equals reality is manipulated by others. Paranoia equals reality is manipulated by your own mind. Same fear, same certainty, same defensive logic. Clinical therapists say the difference appears only through long-term evidence patterns, not emotional reaction. But what if evidence is controlled? Social psychologist Philip Zimbardo warned, situations can shape behavior more powerfully than personality. In controlled environments, people begin to doubt their own perception faster than we expect. Real interrogation studies show that under pressure, even innocent individuals can start questioning their own memory. Not because they're weak, but because the human brain seeks certainty over truth. When reality becomes negotiable, sanity becomes political. Chapter 4. When high intelligence looks like instability. Highly analytical minds often behave differently under stress. They detach emotionally. They observe instead of react. They question instead of comply. and society often misreads that pattern. There is a known bias in behavioral psychology called expectation violation. When someone behaves outside emotional norms, observers assume something is wrong. Too calm in crisis? Suspicious. Too observant? Paranoid. Too logical under pressure? Abnormal. Carl Jung once warned, "The psychotic drowns in the same waters in which the mystic swims with delight." The difference is not always intelligence. Sometimes it is interpretation. History is full of thinkers first called unstable, later called visionary. Not because truth changed, but because public perception did. Brilliance without social comfort often looks dangerous. Chapter 5. The Power of Institutional Reality. Humans are wired to trust structured authority. Uniforms, titles, systems, certifications. This is called authority bias. When an authority speaks, the brain reduces doubt automatically. In one famous obedience experiment, ordinary people administered what they believed were painful electric shocks simply because an authority figure told them to continue. Not monsters, normal people. Authority did not prove truth. It overrode hesitation. Philosopher Hannah Arendt described this as the banality of error through obedience, meaning people don't just follow orders, they outsource judgment. So when an institution declares someone unstable, most observers stop investigating. Not because proof is strong, but because authority feels safe. Chapter 6. Why ambiguous endings stick in the brain. There's a cognitive rule called need for closure. The brain hates unresolved conclusions. Unanswered identity questions create mental tension, and tension increases memory retention. That's why ambiguous psychological stories stay longer in your mind than clear ones. Your brain keeps reopening the file, re-arguing the evidence, re-choosing the side. Psychologist Kurt Lewin wrote, "Unfinished situations remain active in the mind, which means uncertainty is sticky." So here's the final question. Answer honestly. Do you trust personal perception more or institutional judgment more? Because your answer reveals your psychological bias, not just your opinion about the story. Maybe the scariest place is not the asylum, not the system, not the mind. Maybe it is certainty itself. Your